Welcome to Jersey Reads the Classics, an audiobook podcast delving into the finest works of our literary masters. Unfortunately, it's read by this woman.
What the hell? Who cares? Let's go on an adventure.
Hello, and welcome back to Jersey Reads the Classics with me, your host, Rosa DeCandia. Oh, I'm wearing green today. I thought about the Emerald City, right? We're on the way to Emerald City to meet the Wizard of Oz, and it's green. So, in honor of the Emerald City, we're gonna wear green. All right, enough blathering. Let's get back to The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And we proceed to Chapter 9, The Queen of the Field Mice. "We cannot be far from the road of yellow brick now," remarked the Scarecrow as he stood beside the girl, "for we have come nearly as far as the river carried us away." The Tin Woodman was about to reply when he heard a low growl, and turning his head, which worked beautifully on hinges, he saw a strange beast come bounding over the grass toward them. It was indeed a great yellow wildcat, and the woodman thought it must be chasing something, for its ears were lying close to its head, and its mouth was wide open, showing 2 rows of ugly teeth, while its red eyes glowed like balls of fire, great balls of fire. As it came nearer, the Tin Woodman saw that running before the beast was a little gray field mouse, and although he had no heart, he knew it was wrong for the wildcat to try to kill such a pretty, harmless creature. So the woodman raised his axe, and as the wildcat ran by, he gave it a quick blow that cut the beast's head clean off from its body, and it rolled over at his feet in 2 pieces. Wow. Okay, I just want to say this. The woodman is worried about the little mouse, yet he just chopped off the head of the wildcat. And isn't the wildcat related to the lion in some sort of way? Like he just killed a far family member from a lion, because they're in the feline family. Am I wrong there? All right, let's see where we go with this. I ask way too many questions. I wonder if children think these things. They do, because children are smart. Okay. The field mouse, now that it was freed from its enemies, stopped short, and coming slowly up to the woodman, it said in a squeaky little voice, "Oh, thank you. Thank you ever so much for saving my life." "Don't speak of it, I beg of you," replied the woodman. "I have no heart, so I am careful to help all those who may need a friend, even if it happens to be only a mouse." I wish he keeps dwelling, "I don't have a heart." We had the Scarecrow for a couple of chapters. If I only had brains, and now we got the Tin Man constantly saying, "I don't have a heart, I don't have a heart." All right, move along, hop along, Cassidy. At this point, stop dwelling on what you don't got. My God. Oi, only a mouse, cried the little animal indignantly. "Why, I am a queen, the queen of all the field mice." "Oh, indeed," said the woodman, making a bow. "Therefore, you have done a great deed, as well as a brave one, in saving my life," added the queen. At that moment, several mice were seen running up as fast as their little legs could carry them, and when they saw their queen, they exclaimed, "Your Majesty, we thought you would be killed." Did they think, or were they hoping? I'm just saying. They all bowed so low to the little queen that they almost stood upon their heads. They're asking if she survived the wildcat. They said, "Oh, Your Majesty, you survived the wildcat." My question is this: did they want her to die? Because who's going to be in succession of the queen? That's what I want to know. Because the way they made it sound is like, "Oh, Queenie, you survived that? We had it all set up." I mean, that's just my evil side going. That'd be really funny. "We had it all set up for you to get killed by the wildcat. Damn, our plan has been foiled." No, I'm just kidding. All right. You can tell I've been a bit jaded, because here I am thinking they're plotting to kill the queen. "This funny Tin Man," she answered, "killed a wildcat and saved my life. So hereafter you must all serve him and obey his slightest wish." "We will," cried all the mice in a shrill chorus, and then they scampered in all directions. For Toto had awakened from his sleep, and seeing all these mice around him, he gave one bark of delight and jumped right into the middle of the group. Once again, Toto doesn't speak, but I gotta let that go. Toto had always loved to chase mice when he lived in Kansas, and he saw no harm in it. But The Tin Woodman caught the dog in his arms and held him tight while he called to the mice, "Come back, come back, Toto shall not hurt you." At this, the Queen of the Mice stuck her head out from underneath a clump of grass and asked in a timid voice, "Are you sure he will not bite us?" "I will not let him," said the Woodman, "so do not be afraid." One by one, the mice came creeping back, and Toto did not bark again, although he tried to get out of the Woodman's arms, and would have bitten him had he not known very well he was made of tin. Finally, one of the biggest mice spoke. "Is there anything we can do," it asked, "to repay you for saving the life of our queen?" "Nothing that I know of," answered the Woodman. But the Scarecrow, who had been trying to think, but could not because his head was stuffed with straw, said quickly, "Oh yes, you can save our friend, the Cowardly Lion, who was asleep in the poppy bed." "A lion!" cried the little Queen. "Why, he would eat us all up." "Oh no," declared the Scarecrow, "the lion is a coward." "Really?" asked the mouse. "He says so himself," answered the Scarecrow, "and he would never hurt anyone who was our friend. If you help us to save him, I promise that he shall treat you all with kindness." "Very well," said the Queen, "we trust you, but what shall we do? Are there many of these mice which call you Queen and are willing to obey you?" "Oh yes, there are thousands," she replied. "Then send for them all to come here as soon as possible, and let each one bring a long piece of string." What is this going to happen? What's he talking about? Okay, we'll see where his mind is going. The Queen turned to the mice that attended her and told them to go at once and get all her people. As soon as they heard her orders, they ran away in every direction as fast as possible. "Now," said the Scarecrow to the Tin Woodman, "you must go to those trees by the riverside and make a truck that will carry the lion." The Tin Woodman is now making a truck, which goes me to say again, I want a tiny house. And the mice are talking to. Every animal in this frickin' country, this land of Oz, speaks, except Toto. Why? Why? Why not Toto? Why? All right. So the Woodman went at once to the trees and began to work, and he soon made a truck out of the limbs of trees, from which he chopped away all the leaves and branches. He fastened it together with wooden pegs and made the four wheels out of short pieces of a big tree trunk. So fast and so well did he work that by the time the mice began to arrive, the truck was all ready for them. They came from all directions, and there were thousands of them, big mice and little mice and middle-sized mice, and each one brought a piece of string in his mouth. It was about this time that Dorothy woke from her long sleep and opened her eyes. She was greatly astonished to find herself lying upon the grass with thousands of mice standing around and looking at her timidly. But the Scarecrow told her about everything, and turning to the dignified little mouse, he said, "Permit me to introduce you to Her Majesty, the Queen." Dorothy nodded gravely, and the Queen made a curtsy, after which she became quite friendly with the little girl. The Scarecrow and the Woodman now began to fasten the mice to the truck using the strings they had brought. One end of a string was tied around the neck of each mouse, and the other end of the truck. Oh, of course the truck was 1,000 times bigger than any of the mice who were there to draw it, but when all the mice had been harnessed, they were able to pull it quite easily. Even the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman could sit on it, and were drawn swiftly by their queer little horses to the place where the lion lay asleep. After a great deal of hard work, for the lion was heavy, they managed to get him up on the truck. Then the Queen hurriedly gave her people the order to start, for she feared if the mice stayed among the poppies too long, they would also fall asleep. At first, the little creatures, many though they were, could hardly stir the heavily loaded truck. But the Woodman and the Scarecrow both pushed from behind, and they got along better. Soon they rolled the lion out of the poppy bed to the green field, where he could breathe the sweet, fresh air again, instead of the poisonous scent of the flowers. Dorothy came to meet them and thanked the little mice warmly for saving her companion from death. She had grown so fond of the big lion, she was glad he had been rescued. Then the mice were unharnessed from the truck and scampered away through the grass to their homes. The Queen of the Mice was the last to leave. "If you ever need us again," she said, Come out into the field and call, and we shall hear you and come to your assistance. Goodbye. Goodbye, they all answered, and away the queen ran, while Dorothy held Toto tightly lest he should run after her and frighten her. After this, they sat down beside the lion until he should awaken, and the Scarecrow brought Dorothy some fruit from a tree nearby, which she ate for her dinner. Okay, kitties, they're just being saved left and right. It's like divine intervention. And you know what that tells me? Once again, Toto doesn't speak, but every animal speaks in the frickin' book, but Toto doesn't speak. Why do I keep harping on it? I don't know. I want Toto to speak. I want him to be like, yo, you guys are a bunch of misfits, but for some way, you shitheads seem to always land on your feet. Okay, isn't that the truth? They're not really shitheads. They're actually all smart and they're kind people and they're doing the right thing and they have their goal in mind and they're just forging forward. And just like the stork, the mice are playing the same part. They show up exactly when Dorothy and them need them. And I love the fact that the karma is so evident. You know how the lion was concerned about the Scarecrow and not really leaving the Scarecrow, and then now the Scarecrow was like, oh my God, I've got this brilliant idea. Let's save the lion. I think it's interesting. It's like one good turn deserves the other. So right here, I feel like it's karmic stuff is happening. Like one good turn deserves another and it's happening right before our eyes. And sometimes we don't see that right away and we get a little bit jaded. We're like, I do all this good. Where's my good? Sometimes you feel like you're getting shit on still and you're just like, but where's my good? But trust me, people, you get karma not in the same way you gave it out. That's the point. Like, you know, they always say, there's that saying, the sins of the father. Usually the sins of the parents, their karma comes back to their kids, which is the worst thing. Because for a parent, you never want your kids to be like in less than situation, but it's because of your friggin' sins. So karma doesn't happen the way you think it's going to happen. In this book, it kind of did. But normally it doesn't, and it doesn't happen, like your retribution doesn't happen right away. But I digress. Oh my God, I'm going off on tangents. I know, I have this thing with tangents. I do love that word, tangents. But anyway, once again, I think that this book is just constantly reiterating the fact that if you stay true to who you are and you've got a good heart and your intentions are pure, which it is, they all want to get to the Oz, because who wants a heart, who wants a brain, who wants courage, and who just wants to go home? And they're not bad people. They're good kids. They're staying the course. They're there. They're compassionate. They're loving and all this. And all of a sudden, the universe reflects back to them, sending them wonderful people that can help them. And I think it's really interesting how the Tin Woodman, who doesn't want to hurt anybody, but saved a little mouse that's the thing. He did a kindness for somebody that he didn't expect anything back from, not realizing the mouse could help him. And that's so interesting. And I think this brings me up to the point of, you know, and we've talked about this, helping people out, right? And doing it just because you want to. That's the point. I don't think you should be helping people out if your heart's not into it. And I'm not going to go into, because we've done this episode before. I feel like, you know what, they all really are the same kind of themes. And this is also like about giving and receiving. But the Tin Woodman just did it because his instinct was like, oh, I want to protect that little mouse. And then all of a sudden, not realizing the mouse turns out to be a queen. And then due to Scarecrow's brilliant idea, she's got thousands of, people in her freaking queendom, and they can all help out. And it's kind of in your life, right? When you've helped somebody out and all of a sudden it turns around and it's like, do you need a job? Do you need something? Is there something I can help you with? And you're like, oh shit, I just helped you out because I wanted to help you out. And me talking about this doesn't mean you go out there and you start helping everybody else out if you're going to start resentful if nothing happens back for you. Because if your intentions aren't pure, shit's not going to happen for you people. And you're saying to me, oh, Rosie, but there are people that are successful that aren't good people. We're not even going to talk about our government and what have you, but you're just like, they're in a place of power and their intentions aren't good. And you're right, but they're also serving a purpose that's higher than we could ever think of. And that's a whole nother concept that I don't even want to go on. But truly, when we see people that have like an evil streak or not, that we think are good people, they're serving a purpose that they think is their own purpose, but it's not. It's for the highest good, because them being in a place of power has helped people awaken and things like that. But we ain't going to go into that, because I don't like to talk politics and religion and all that stuff here, because I believe that those are topics, as they've always tell you, never discuss religion, politics, and money. Never turns out well. So we're not going to discuss that, because you don't need to know my religious beliefs or my political beliefs, and that's not important here. But what I do want to say is, like, just you helping somebody and not doing it with a full heart, okay? I don't want you helping people just thinking you're going to get something from them. When you help somebody, do it from a place of like, I can really help you, I want to help you. And then expect nothing. But what usually happens if that person can't reciprocate, whether it's that day or another day or in 6 months, you will be sent somebody else who'll be your guardian angel as you were a guardian angel for somebody else. I see that happen to me all the time. And I think this chapter is really about just trust and going on the journey and being good people, because they are getting help. They're not even like, they're not boo-hooing. They're not sitting in this shit. They know that shit sucks, but they're kind of just like, meh. And they're kind of not waiting around for help because they're just doing whatever they're doing and not dwelling on it. But at the end of the day, help's coming to them without them boo-hooing over it. So I think this is just a chapter that is similar to the previous one. But I will say this, I do like the fact that, the camaraderie, that's the thing. When you think about your tribe and you think about the friends that you have, your comrades, are they really your ride or dies? And do they have your back? We've talked about that. So I just want to reiterate and encourage you to think about right now, especially that we're going during this COVID, who has your back? And I'm sure I've talked about that before. If not here, then on the podcast. But this is a time where we really need each other emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Sometimes it's physically. And who are the people that are reaching out to you? Who are you reaching out to? Who are the people that you're like, I can really I can really trust them and rely on them during this time? And think about those and who've stepped up to the plate that you never thought would. And think about how maybe sometimes we have to reevaluate or reassess our friendships and reassess who is serving us in our life and who's not, and how we're showing up in lives of others. Because I think it's also important during this time for us to do the work. Who are we showing up for? And is it reciprocal? Because if you have a friend that's constantly reaching out to you and you're not reaching out to them, I would encourage you to think about, why aren't you reaching out to them? Because, your friend's reaching out to you, or vice versa. If you're constantly reaching out to a friend and they ain't giving two shits and they're not reaching back out to you, I'm just going to encourage you to reassess, like, is this someone that I want in my life? And what I'm thinking about when I read this book, going through this journey that they're going to the great land of Oz, we're all going through the journey of just trying to find some sort of normalcy for ourselves right now, and it's very difficult. So how are people showing up in your lives? How are you showing up in your own life? How are you showing up in others' lives? And how are you reacting to this particular situation? Because, what we're going through is a life-altering, it's a moment in time. It's a historical moment. And this is not going to be something that's washing away quickly. And it has been here already while I'm filming this. We've been going through the thick of it since, March 2020, and I'm filming this right now in the month of July. I don't know when this is going to, maybe it's going to be aired this month. But the point is, March, April, May, June, July, 4.5 months, 5 months that we're going through this. And it can wear on us. And I know it can wear on us. But I'm just going to encourage you to think about who are the people that are showing up for you. What situations have swooped in to help you out during this time. And to stay in a place of gratitude right here, right now. To be grateful for the little things that you do have. And the little things could be that you have a roof over your head, which is not so little. Or that you have a spouse or a partner who cares about you. Or you have children that love you. Or you have a family that loves you. Or you have great friends that take care of you. Or you just are alive and seeing another day. Because we may think we take a lot of things for granted, my friends. All of us do. But getting up every day is first the gift. And being in the moment is the present, right? So you saw what I did there. So staying in the present, being grateful, and just knowing that you are being provided for. And to just reflect on the times where you did feel at your worst and how you were provided for. And also right now, just how are people showing up for you and how are you showing up for others? Because I think especially now is a good time to reevaluate and reassess what our priorities are, who's worthy of our time, are we being the best of ourselves? Because that's important too. Because as we go through this journey, it's not all about you claiming and deeming, I gotta have this and this person's gotta serve me. You gotta serve others too. So are you stepping up to the plate? And it can just be calling up a certain friend once a week, just checking in on them because they live alone or what have you. So with that being said, I don't know where I went. I mean, today is a day I'm getting once again, I think the COVID, it's getting to all of us. And if it hasn't gotten to you, I mean, listen, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing these videos. I do my podcast, and I took up hula hooping, which I love. I'm coloring. I'm filling my days with having good conversations with people that have my back, that I can trust and feel safe with, and knowing that I'm also showing up for them when they need someone to talk to. And I think it's important for all of us, especially now, to stay in a place of being cool, calm, and collected. But also, this is a great journey like that we're all going on, and you're not alone. Please know you're not alone. You're not the only one going through this. You're not the only one having doubts. You're not the only one having some fears and worries. But what I'm going to encourage you is to not sit in those places of fears and worries and doubts. Because, as I said in our last episode, what are the thoughts you're planting? Because right now is a time that we're all being tested, and now is a good time for you to flip the switch in your brain and start going into trust and to knowingness, and knowing that you are being provided for and everything will work out for its best. And humanity is strong. We all have strong spirits, and we have been through so many other things that have been just like this. And even though this is new for most of us, humanity is strong. We will get through this. So with that being said, I just want to send you a lot of light and love and peace and joy. And I know that right here, right now, I'm grateful for who's ever there right now watching this. And I'm grateful for just being alive today. And I'm grateful that I can sit here and read and do this and feel that at my own little way, that perhaps I'm planting some seeds of entertainment, seeds of happiness, and some seeds of inspiration. And that for me right here, right now is enough. So, my friends, you stay blessed. You take care of yourself. How are you showing up? Who's showing up for you? Knowing that you are worthy of people showing up and things showing up for you. And knowing that also this is a great time for us to discover who our true character is, and how that all of us, if we stand united and support each other, we will make it through no matter what. Okay, my friends, you stay amazing. And on that note, with the dog barking, that could be Toto talking. Hey, there's a sign. All right, my friends, wishing you so much light and love. Have a beautiful day. Bye.